Welcome back, troops. Let's tab 59. So, things have escalated in the last few days, last week. America, Biden, and UK Prime Minister Starmer, they've both given the green light to Ukraine to use their long-range missile systems onto Russian territory. And that's upset old Vlad. And I can see that a bit. I can see it from both sides. So now, old Vlad is rattling his nuclear sabres a bit more. And he's been doing it for some time. And if I'm honest with you, I think it's all bluster. That's my honest opinion. But what I want to chat about was, what do you think he would target in the UK? There's obviously the obvious ones. So if Vlad was going to zap us, certainly if he was going to use nuclear weapons, what's his target's going to be? Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's going to be all our military installations. He'll prioritise those. And of course, then he's going to go for the financial centres, political centres. And he's going to go for our infrastructure and our ability to produce stuff. But let's have a look at a few of them. So what's his priorities going to be regarding military bases? Well, if I was Vlad and I had my finger on the button, I think in no particular order, I'd go for RAF Lossiemouth. RAF Lossiemouth up on the east coast of Scotland. We've got 4 squadrons Typhoon fighters up there, which is primarily our northern air defence, if you like. So you want to take that out. We've got Poseidon up there and the new Wedgetail squadrons up there, which are airborne early warning systems. So you want to take that lot out. That would be a priority target. Over on the other side of Scotland, of course, you've got His Majesty's Naval Base, Fastlane, which is home to our nuclear deterrent, our Trident missiles. That's where our nuclear subs are based. Obviously, they'll be at sea, the nuclear subs that is. But still, you want to take that out because there's all sorts of infrastructure up there that needs to be zapped. So you're going to take out that. So that's 2 sides of Scotland zapped, for a start. Because you often think, wherever you live in the United Kingdom, you think, well, I'm out in the sticks, I'm safe. But when you look at it and you start to add up all the potential targets, there isn't much. There isn't many places in the UK that are going to be safe. Maybe not you might not have direct nuclear detonation on your place, on your position, but certainly the fallout is going to drift across, isn't it? If you remember back, those of you remember the Chernobyl disaster, which was out in Ukraine, wasn't it? With the Soviet Union in those days, or Russia in those days. That drifted across the British Isles, Western Europe, and that caused a few problems. Remember, people couldn't eat sheep and tend not to drink water and get rid of water out your water butts. All sorts of things went on in the 80s about that. So he's taken out Lossiemouth on the east coast. He's going to zap naval base at Fastlane. Where else is he going to look? Well, I'd look at RF Brize Norton, because that's a big old air base, Brize Norton, Oxfordshire. That needs to be taken out. That's where all our air transport aircraft are, and also our air-to-air refuelling aircraft squadrons are based there too. So it'd be handy to try and take that out. Where else? Well, I would then think His Majesty's Naval Base in Devonport. That needs to be spanked as well. That's got to go. I think Plymouth would need to go with that. Well, Devonport, yeah. Plymouth, and the naval base at Portsmouth. I mean, it's about 2/3 of our naval fleet are at Portsmouth, surface fleet anyway. That needs to go. I think Devonport's the nuclear repair and refueling site. So that needs to go. So you're going to take all that lot out. Then, of course, you might pick on the other smaller boat. We've got one near here, RF Coningsby. That's got squadrons of Typhoons there. That's going to get taken out. So you're going to hit all those sort of targets first. And then he's going to, like I say, he's going to want to go for political. So London's going to get it. He's going to drop one right on Downing Street and in Westminster. He's going to want to take out London, the capital city. He's going to want to hit Manchester, Birmingham, take that out, Sheffield, right? Anywhere where there's steelworks as well. So I mean, Mike is down in Wales in the valleys. He thinks he's reasonably safe, but still got steelworks down at Port Talbot at the moment. That's going to be on the list, Mike. Port Talbot, that's going to get some. He's going to take out all of our steel producing facilities, our manufacturing facilities or industrial areas. And mainly that is in the north, isn't it? Still what's left of it. So that's going to get a kick in. Then I suppose you can look at power stations. Dungeness. What's the other ones we got? We've got a few nuclear power stations. They're going to get it. And any other power stations, even solar farms, solar plants, wind farms. He's going to want to take out all that sort of infrastructure. And I don't think he's necessarily interested in killing loads of people, just causing loads of casualties and putting a strain on our infrastructure. So you start to, if you look at the map of the UK, start to look at all these sites I've been talking about. Depending on the yield of the nuclear detonation, as I say, you don't have to be living on top of any of these positions to get zapped by it. The fallout alone is going to cause you a lot of problems. Now I know there's a lot of preppers out there. They've got their plans, they've got their go-to bags, their get-out, bug-out bags, they've got their bug-out locations. Well, I've said this before. If it's a serious nuclear exchange and we get a good spanking, you can go and live in the woods with your bug-out bag in your hole in the ground or whatever you've got planned, cave. And you can survive for quite a long time, I'm sure. But if you can't predict, you won't be able to predict where the fallout's coming from. Wind directions change. I know it predominantly comes from the west, our wind, but last time when Chernobyl got hit, right out in the east of Europe, that drifted right across the UK, it affected Wales, it affected all over. The fallout's the big thing. If you're underneath the bomb, you're probably better off. If you vaporise, it's over. If you're on the edge of it, there's going to be a lot of blast damage, a lot of burn damage. It's going to cause a lot of problems. Now, what have we got to defend ourselves? Well, RF Flyingdales in North Yorkshire is one of 3 early warning systems. That's where we got our 4-minute warning from. Back in the Cold War days, it said you get a 4-minute warning. Well, that was because of Flyingdales. That would detect the launch of missiles, etc. I think there's another one up in Greenland. I mean, there's 3 of them all together. I think Alaska's got one, Greenland's got one, and we've got one in North Yorkshire. And that's sort of actually funded by the Americans. Although it's based, British based, that one, Flyingdales, and it's got RF personnel manning it. There's probably about 10 Americans up there from the old space agency. And because they monitor satellites as well, spy satellites that are coming over, they monitor all that. So we've got that, that's going to be a target as well. But what defensive systems have we got? Well, not a lot really. Back in the Cold War, we had 30 squadrons of aircraft as part of our air defence, 30. Now we've got 9. You see, because once the Cold War finished, we got the peace dividend. We stopped spending on defence. We started to cut back strategic defence reviews, etc. And we had this peace dividend for a while because we believed that any future adversary we come up against, we would have air superiority over them. And so we didn't need all this air defence system. We used to have a missile system in the artillery called Bloodhound. And they talk about Iron Domes in Israel and Patriot missile systems that are going to take everything out of the sky. But it's all changed. Like I say, we've gone down to 9 squadrons from 30. And we assumed we would have air superiority over everybody else, anyone that attacked us. When you come up against a peer adversary like Russia, then we can't assume we've got air superiority. Not in today's missile and drone systems that we've got. So we've left it too late. We've got Sky Sabre, which is a anti-missile, anti-aircraft defence system, which is pretty good apparently. And Sky Sabre has replaced Rapier. Rapier was getting old and ancient. That's gone. We've got Sky Sabre. Now I think we've got something like 9 of these missile defence systems, air defence systems, Sky Sabre. But at least 2 or 3 of those are going to be overseas. So we've probably got, what, 6 here in the UK? Dotted around, they're going to be at key locations. And it's a very effective bit of kit, but I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough. We used to have air defence frigates, was it? Frigates? Air defence ships anyway. Now, we've only got about 3 of those operational that are in UK waters. The rest are either overseas or non-operational. So 3 of these air defence ships, maybe 6 Sky Sabre systems, and a few squadrons of Typhoons. That's all we've got. That's all we've got at the moment to defend UK. And like I say, if you look at the map of the UK and start to mark with a highlighter pen all the likely sites, you're educated people out there, have a look at it, have a look at a map, wherever it is, all the different important sites in UK, infrastructure, even railway stations, all that sort of important stuff that you need to operate and move around the country. Start taking all that out. We just haven't got enough air defence capability to protect the nation. That's a fact. It's a cold, hard fact. Because spending's been cut year after year by successive governments since the end of the Cold War. As I say, we've assumed we'd have air superiority over an adversary. Well, we're not fighting ISIS. We're not up against them. They're not going to send stuff over. We could potentially be against a peer adversary. And we ain't ready for it. And it is a bit of a worry. Having said all that, I don't think he's going to do it. I really don't. Hopefully, old Trump's going to get in the seat in January, is it? And he reckons he can stop it. Bring them to the negotiating table. Well, let's hope they do. Let's hope it stops. But if the worst did happen, defence-wise in this nation, the United Kingdom, mainland UK, we're screwed. Now they're working on Dragonfire, this laser system we've got. Reckon they can hit a pound coin at 70 k's away or something. Burn it out the sky with a laser. We're working on that, but they reckon that's 5 years away before that's operational. They're still testing it. That'd be a good system. Apparently, when they fire that laser incoming drone or missile or aircraft, it costs about £10 a shot, so it's cheap as chips. But that's 5 years away. We're talking about the here, the now, today. If it were to happen, we just haven't got enough. We're lacking an air defence system for this nation. Remember, coupled with that, you've got other considerations to take into account. There's no mass fallout shelters or air raid shelters anymore. It's all gone. Whether the local seats of government have still got somewhere to go, try and run the country from what's left of it, I don't know. Most of those now, since the Cold War ended, have shut down, fallen in disrepair or whatever. So I don't think we've got much there. So it's a worry. So let me know what you think about the state of our UK defence systems. I'm not going to run off in the woods. As I say, if you go out in the woods, we're going to come back up to you. You've got to come up sometime. Can't keep living off stinging nettles and wild rabbits. Eventually it's going to run out. So that's the state we're at the moment. So, end of my little chat. Lovely day, as you can see. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on what defensive systems are going to be provided for this country. Can't be much, can there? I'd be interested to hear some of your thoughts. Hi there. Are you going to go and live in a ditch? Or do what I'm going to do? I've always said it. I'll get my deck chair out, put it in the back garden, face it towards RF Coningsby, open a bottle of scotch, light a cigarette up, and watch the fireworks. It's not worth doing much else. But like I say, don't worry about it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's old Vlad rattling his sabres, because he knows if he presses that button, Russia's vaporised. Let me tell you. He might have more than other people, but when you send it out, you're going to get it back the other way. There's enough time to launch it. He knows that. He knows our subs are out there with Trident somewhere. And if he hasn't located and destroyed them before he pushes the button on the UK, he's going to get a big bucket of sunshine on Moscow too. That's the Kremlin in rubbles. So, let me know what you think in the comments about that one. Isn't it cracking? Look at this. Anyway, troops, that's enough waffle from me. Stay safe. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider it. I'm not saying do it, I'm saying consider it. Until next time, and it won't be long. Remember, stay safe and let's tab.